and a half an inch of rain is possible. And then a small chance of rain for Friday as the clouds start to move away. Partly sunny skies, temperatures reaching almost 68 degrees.
Yesterday's best rock today.
SNSN Radio.
Long live rock.
And good morning. Welcome to the show, everybody. It's 8 minutes after 8. It is a beautiful sunny Thursday. I lie. Thursday morning here in Jewett City. And we have lots of stuff going on today. Boy, we are a very, very busy little internet radio station on Main Street today. We have guests from now all the way up to the end of the show. So we're busy. Good morning, Jim Barney. You're going to be joining me this morning.
Morning, Mike.
For the tomfoolery here. And we have our first guest of the morning. It's Angela Adams from the Greater Norwich Area Chamber of Commerce. Angela, good morning to you.
Good morning. How are you?
Pretty good. How have you been? It's been a while.
It has been a while, since a month, right? I was on here last month.
I just spilled coffee all over my.
Did you?
Yeah, I don't know how that happened.
Oh.
And me too. Yeah, it's been about a month. It's been about a month so far.
How have you been?
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good. Not too bad. How's things with the chamber?
It's going great. It is. We've gotten so much that we've been doing the last couple weeks. This week has been Restaurant Week. One of my favorite restaurants right across the street is participating in that. Brewett City.
Okay.
So
good spot.
No, what is Restaurant Week all about?
So each year, Restaurant Week is about trying to do something a little bit different, trying to go into your favorite restaurant or try to discover a new restaurant of your choice. So we have 46 participating restaurants this year. We changed it up a little bit different from last year. We didn't have special menus this year just because the restaurants. Hey, Mike.
What?
Come here, look at me. So the Restaurant Week has 46.
I'm trying to share it so everyone can see what you're talking about.
I know.
So
Restaurant Week
whoa, stop. Hold on. I'm going to finish this because I am.
He does. I don't like it.
So you never have to be worried about a formal program with Mike.
No.
I know.
It's like one of my business partners in the past. I was straight down. They classified me straight down the road. My brother was he deviated a little bit, and our third partner deviated all over the place.
Yeah, that would.
I think that's Mike.
Oh, that's Mike.
That's you too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
yeah, I just want to let you know we have Angela Adams here today from the Greater Norwich Area Chamber of Commerce. Hi, Angela.
Hi.
I hear this thing's called Restaurant Week.
It is. We have Restaurant Week going on. We have 46 restaurants involved this year.
Ooh, name them all. Go.
No. But one of my favorite restaurants, as we were talking about, is right across the street here.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all
Brewett
throughout
City.
Brewett City Pub. Yep, it's all throughout the Greater Norwich area. So this year we decided we're going to do it a little bit different because the restaurants they couldn't do their special menus because some restaurants they only have a special takeout menu. So we're still kind of hopefully towards the end of the pandemic. So what we're doing is encouraging people to go to restaurants or get takeout at restaurants and try to participate and support our local restaurants. So we decided this year we're going to do a fun contest. So when you go in there and you eat at your favorite restaurant or you get a takeout, you scan your barcode in and then you can win gift certificates back to those restaurants in order to continue to give and support local.
Very, very good.
You mentioned a barcode. Is this something that is issued by the chamber? Oh, okay.
Yep.
Don't say barcode to Jim because he'll think it's a conspiracy theory. It'll be a chip in your hand.
No, it's a small little. It's a QR code. I shouldn't say barcode. So it's a QR code, and then you take your phone, you scan it in, and then you answer a couple questions to get into the contest. Like, where did you eat? What was your favorite part of that restaurant? We're just asking them to spend a minimum of $10 at each restaurant. So if it's breakfast, it's perfect. So
that is true. That is true. Yeah. So now Restaurant Week is here, and which I think is a good little tie-in for our guest this morning, who works with lots of restaurants and different types of, those types of organizations.
And restaurants and food service.
Right. It's Mark Lathrop from Lathrop Vending. Good morning, Mark. How are you?
Good morning, Mike. Thanks for having me.
So, no, my pleasure. So you of course are a member of the Greater Norwich Area Chamber of Commerce.
Yep.
You said, Angela, there was a funny story
There was.
And how Mark he rolls his eyes already. So
She loves to tell this story.
I
by the
do
way.
because I think it's a fun story. So Lathrop Bendy became a member of our chamber about 4 years ago, and we were trying to think about what different type of networking we can get him involved in with our community and our local businesses and how to meet people. So one of the things I had mentioned to him is say, come to our new member meet and greet.
Mhm.
So he shows up on I don't know.
It was a Friday.
It was a Friday morning, and he shows up and he can't figure out why there's only 2 people there. Maybe there was 3, but I know the mayor and Chris Stroh
Yeah.
was there, which was our chairman at the time. And we had a meeting. So he comes in and so I introduced him. I'm like, why is he here? So I thinking maybe the mayor or Chris had invited him to this meeting.
Mhm.
So he's sitting at the table. He's pretty quiet. He's kind of doing this and fiddling his fingers and stuff. And then I asked Chris.
he hasn't
I'm like,
had a drink yet.
Nope.
Okay,
It was
all
8
right,
But I'll
o'clock.
tell you what.
He needed one that
The
morning.
comfort zone was like, this is very odd. This is the weirdest meet and greet I ever thought.
So he
then you
sat
meet one
there.
person, gotta go.
Yeah.
You're
So
greeting yourself essentially, huh?
yeah.
I thought we had more members than this when I got there.
Yeah. So he sat there the whole time. And then I asked Chris, and Chris was like, why is Mark here? And I was like, did you invite him? But he's like, no. And then I asked the mayor, and the mayor was like, I thought you invited him. So we were just talking as general.
Yeah.
So then he says, I thought I was supposed to come to some meet and greet. And I was like, no, that's next week. And there's usually anywhere from, there was about 50
Yeah.
people there at that one. So that's a little bit, that was a smaller networking thing that we do quarterly, I think it is.
Yeah.
So
Made more sense the following Friday.
Yeah.
it did. And ever since then, of course, at Griswold High School, his daughter plays volleyball at Griswold High School. So we've gotten to know the Lathrops pretty well. So
I used to back in the day. I worked for Radio Shack for about 13 years, right?
Mhm.
And one time when I first got my first managing gig in one of the stores, I had scheduled a meeting for. I had 3 employees at the time, and they all had to go to New Haven,
Mhm.
for a district meeting. So one Tuesday morning, I get a call from my district manager, and he goes, "Hey, why are 2 of your employees sitting here in my office?" I said, "Well, they're there for the district sales meeting." He goes, "Mike, that's next week." And I went, "Oh, well, I didn't want them to be late."
Well,
That's what I said.
they weren't late.
Early's on time.
So I invited Mark here because during the pandemic, one of the things that I thought was very interesting is how he's actually pivoted, because a lot of his, I'm including a client of his as well,
Mhm.
is servicing the coffee machines at our businesses. Well, of course, a lot of the businesses have been shut down. A lot of the schools, people don't
Yeah.
forget, they forget about that. So
And a
I
lot of
think-
people don't know where these machines actually come from.
Exactly. And there's more to what he does that I want him to share. So this is where you come in. So I want you to explain a little bit about how the pandemic has affected you.
So the pandemic actually was a positive, more than a negative for our business. We laid off half of our employees for that very beginning lockdown, and then as we came out, we did start bringing people back. Well, it gave us the opportunity to sit back and look at the way we did business, what kind of procedures and things like that. What are we doing wrong, or what can we do better? Because we just weren't as busy, so we had time to do it. And we brought back the right amount of people, the right people, and now the business is actually more profitable than it was the prior year, just from changing processes and just looking at
Sure.
things a different way. So overall, I think having time to sit back and reflect gave us time to push forward and to move forward this year. We're already going into a positive outcome, so we're trending right in the right direction again.
And I think that's awesome that you think about it that way, the way you looked at it, and you pivoted from one spot to another. There were a lot of businesses that did that, whether it was because they had to, or because they did want to change a certain thing, and this just kind of said, okay, well, now you have to. You don't really have a
Mhm.
choice.
You know,
And it was a little of both.
it brings something else to mind that for a business owner, sometimes it's worthwhile bringing in an outside consultant that is really familiar with your area of business, because they have seen what other businesses are doing in similar situations, and they can make some strong recommendations on how to improve your own operation.
Absolutely. I actually, Michael Hyatt, he had a thing called crisis management or leading through crisis or something like
Yeah,
that.
you're talking about-
And I did that one day, just out of the, thinking about what's going to happen with our business right now. And I will tell you the one takeaway from it that was the most important is your business has survived 100% of the crises it's gone through so far. Why will this be any different?
Yep.
You just have to change your mindset to what moves us forward, and don't dwell on the fact that you have the crisis. What do you have to do to move forward? And that's really what pushed us in the right direction.
Well, it's funny. When I first saw your shirt, I didn't read it correctly. I thought it said Lathrop Welding. Okay.
Mhm.
And then when you shook my hand, I mean, I don't have a strong hand particularly, but you crushed it. Okay. And I says, but he got that from welding. And then we come in here and we're sitting down and talking
That's
about vending. And I says, how do we go from welding to vending?
Have you ever picked up a vending machine?
No.
Those suckers are heavy. I got one back there that I ended up at the old golf course. I ended up with, and that sucker's got to be 500 pounds.
Oh yeah.
It took us 5 people to walk it in here. It's pretty crazy.
He could have called me. We could
I
have
was just-
got you a dolly.
Oh my God. It's so big, it wouldn't fit. And we had to,
You had to take the door off.
no, we got it in somehow. I don't really know, but
Oh, that's why all the damage on the door frame, huh?
Kevin Merchant's listening.
I know. That's why I said it.
Well, my equipment guy
Morning,
doesn't
Kevin.
damage stuff, just so you know.
Oh,
There you go.
I should have called Mark. But yeah, I agree with we had to do the same thing. Other businesses did it as well, and I think you need to have that foresight. Some things just kind of happen by accident, and like this whole place has been happened by accident, kind of. But even during the pandemic, I agree with you 100%. It was an opportunity.
Right.
You can sit here and go, "Woe was me," and yes, there were a lot of people sick, and unfortunately, a lot of people passed away. But as far as
Absolutely.
business is concerned, it was a good thing if you wanted it to be. It
Yeah.
created revenue streams for us. What about you?
It created a couple different opportunities for revenue streams. Nothing that really took off.
Mhm.
But gangbusters. Like some people, like you said, were picking up revenue from it, but it just forced us to do things different and find ways to make sure we get our customers what they need safely and effectively. And now we do it that way all the time. So now it was a good thing.
So it's not just a lot of people when they think vending machines. I think maybe on the
See, I
top.
always thought coffee. I just thought,
See, I thought
I didn't realize
candy.
it.
Yeah.
Well, the machines, there's a lot more that he does, and that's why
Yeah.
I would,
Yeah.
Candy, granola bars, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You put in your 65 cents or whatever, and
While you're dating yourself.
I know. and then you pull a thing and boom, there you go.
Yep.
Or coffee machines or something in a hospital lobby. That that's what that's what I'm thinking of. But you guys do so much more than that.
Yeah, and vending machines are everywhere. I mean, they're in white collar, blue collar,
Silent salesmen.
Yeah, they're everywhere. People need them. Through the whole pandemic, we were actually, it was like the employees, the essential worker. Sorry, we fell in that category. But we do more than just soda machines, snack machines, food machines, coffee machines. We do micro markets, which is like a convenience store in your workplace with a kiosk, self-checkout kiosk. They're all under cameras. Those actually picked up revenue because people felt safer to do them. And some of them are in places that had cafeterias that there wasn't enough employees to support the cafeteria. So they had to go to our micro markets.
What is a micro market, if you could explain it?
It's basically a convenience store. It's open air. Everything's on racks. You go open the door of a cooler just like you would at Cumberland Farms, grab a beverage, and you scan them, and you can pay with a market card or credit card or debit card. So you have a store value card that we give every employee at the establishment, or now they're using their phones. They put them on their phones, and they put $20 on it, and they use it until they need to put money on. And
have you ever thought about opening up like a convenience store yourself with this kind of thing, with a locked door where people have to have they're doing it in Germany.
I've seen, yeah, they used to have a concept called Store 24. Same kind of concept.
Cameras everywhere,
Yeah.
nobody working there, except for people stocking the shelves during the day or whatever.
Yeah,
And
the micro market company we use, Avanti, they actually have a new concept coming out that's very similar to what you're talking about. It's got a lot of scanners and weighted shelves and stuff like that, facial recognition, and you have to swipe your credit card to walk in
right.
or your store value card. And when every time you're picking stuff up, it's following you like an Amazon. That the Amazon store that they talk about, it kind of follows you for what you're grabbing, and when you're ready to go out, you walk out the door and it charges your credit card.
What's your loss percentage on this kind of a business?
The theft rate is around right now. We're pushing it. We're around 4%, 4 to 5%. They tell you it's 3. The revenue growth that we pick up from changing it a place from vending to micro market supersedes the
Mhm.
4%. But we have a dedicated team that's all they work on is our micro market business and follow cameras and theft detectives and stuff like that we have. And as long as our clients know going in that, hey, if I bring something to you, I hope you do something about it. Because if they're stealing bags of chips from me, they're taking more than that from you.
Yeah.
So
That's a good point.
Yeah. And but for the most part, most people are honest. Nobody wants to lose their job over a dollar bag of chips.
Yeah.
They do like to put their job on the line for a $3.50 monster because that's probably our worst. Our worst. Yeah. I gotta
What'd you
watch
say?
that guy.
I said, is that Craig?
Oh, he's
I love
watching,
this
and he says, "I'm listening, baby."
Oh,
So there you go.
that's weird. Must be
And
talking to
I was
you.
gonna say he's talking to me.
Yeah. And then he says, "Hi, Mike. Hi, Angela." Didn't say crap. It's Mark's here, by the way, Craig.
He only likes me on Friday happy hour.
Or at the races.
Or at the races. At the races. Well, it's funny because I went to and I don't even realize you guys are everywhere. I mean, absolutely everywhere. Because I went to we did a game. We did a basketball game,
Yeah.
and at Plainfield High School. Walked out. There was a vending machine with a bunch of water. I didn't even think about it. Right. So I scanned my card, ended up with a couple of waters, and then every day I always check my bank. Boom, 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 boom. Lathrop vending. And I'm like, man, he gets me coming and going no matter which way.
Yeah, I'll tell you my.
But I was like, it made
You
me
didn't even
smile
think about
because,
it, right?
well, because I was buying something from somebody I knew. I knew it was somebody local. It wasn't some guy out of Pittsburgh. Just dropping stuff off. So I was like, all right.
Yeah, and you employ how many local?
47.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I thought there was maybe like 80 of you.
No.
I really honestly thought there was about 8 of you.
So you have to come down and see the operation.
I would love to.
Yeah.
I would love to.
Absolutely.
So can I
Let me
take
know.
a 350 Monster?
And you know what I'll give you when I give him to Craig all the time.
You kidding me? Monster drinks will stop my heart. If I drink those things. So when you go into a business or a business calls you, I mean, do you have any qualifying questions for them? To discover whether or not they actually need your services or not.
Yeah. So when our sales guy's out there, he'll ask number of employees because that'll determine what amount of machines you need or is it a big enough place to do a micro market or we do one now, we'll call it a nano market. It's a little smaller. So what concept works and what are they looking for? Sometimes somebody calls me because they're not getting good service and they have a soda and snack machine and that's all they want. So we don't have to put the micro market out there. So we do that and we try to do their office coffee. So we have that side of our business where we sell all our coffee supplies, water coolers, that kind of stuff. So we try to get it to bundle in and see if that's what they're interested in. But our biggest thing is we find out the pain points that they need fixed and figure out what is the best solution for us to fix their problem.
They also have a self-serve machine too.
Yeah.
What's that?
That's my favorite.
Oh, the Levite machine. Yeah, you got to come down and check this out. So it's just a water cooler, but you can buy little capsules that go inside and make healthier drinks. Whether it's a lemonade or what's the emergency or there's one that's like an emergency that people can drink, and
Energy ones
Yeah,
that
and
have
it-
just vitamin B12s and stuff like that.
Um,
So
or just
Wow.
just like a flavored water. So like a watermelon with a little hint of watermelon. It just mixes through. and they're
Sure,
all
like the
sugar-
bubbly
sugar-free.
drinks that you
Yeah.
get. Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
But it's
and you
healthier,
can
and
also
that's
do
the main
that.
point,
You
yeah.
can make it. You can make them seltzer. You can keep them still. You can make them sparkling with just a little bit. You make the drink how you want it.
So I have to ask you, know what I want to do, what I'm planning to do. Would that be a fit for me?
It's
Or
it might have a place. I'm not sure if we talked about it at the time.
we never did. No.
I don't know how many people would come in just to get
For
a
that. Well, just for
flavored
the
water.
cool factor.
Right.
Well,
that's why I have it.
Yeah.
I can tell you this is Melissa's daughters, all they drink is those bubblies.
Yep.
Yep.
They're so popular now.
They are.
They're very, very popular.
Yep. And the
Yeah.
other thing, right in the beginning, right when we opened up our new store, you had one of those latte
Oh,
machines there,
the bean to cup machines.
bean
Yeah,
and cup machines and stuff.
for big offices, they have it's called a bean to cup office coffee maker, which puts beans in the hopper, and it gives you an option for lattes, mochas, chocolate, French vanilla, and you can mix coffee with it. You can mix and match how you want to make the 1 cup of coffee. It makes one at a time. And just grinds the beans.
Like
and
a
makes the
Keurig
coffee.
kind of thing almost.
It's
But it
it's
was-
bigger than that. It actually grinds
So you make a
the amount of
latte.
beans, and it makes the whole coffee right from bean for 1 cup.
You don't even need a
so
barista
good.
anymore, do you?
Right? We have a CX Touch pod machine, the little disc pods that does the same thing. You put the powdered milk and hot chocolate and stuff in there, and you can mix and match and make it strong, weak, however you like it.
Talk about
That's amazing.
Isn't it though? I mean, God,
It really is, because like I started the conversation by saying, my concept of or my idea of a vending machine, I'm very much old school. Is you said you put the quarters in there,
that.
you
Break
pull the
apart
thing,
and move on.
and this is
Yeah.
blowing my mind. And then of course, I've kind of moved up, by swiping the card and getting water out and stuff like that. But I never would have even thought that vending machines would be able to do this for people.
Yeah,
That's
they're
amazing.
They are more convenient now than they ever were. Like you said, with the credit cards, or the credit card readers also use like Apple Pay and the tap, so you can, you don't just have to swipe anymore. It's
I
got
mean,
it
there's
all done.
also vending machines with soup and everything else that you can get in the office. And I like the fact though that you have a card for the employees. So then you could actually do a bigger company can actually do some promotions that month,
Yeah.
like Employee of the Month. They can get, a
Yeah.
card for the month.
Now, do you have like a
Employee of the
card
Month.
where you load the card up with money or
Yeah.
whatever? And that
Yeah.
that
Yeah, it
basically
kind of
what
looks like your
is?
Stop and Shop card.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
And it also they have it so it works off your phone also, so you can go right online and add $20 or whatever from your credit card. Just
And
doing it
you
online.
just scan it.
You walk up and scan it, and it's good to go.
That's freaking
We
scary.
do have a client that actually sends us a thing for all their employees' birthdays for a month, whoever's
See,
birthday,
that's what I love.
and they ask us, and we put $10 on their card for each employee and bill the client, and then on the kiosk screen it says happy birthday, and each name will start coming up for the whole month. It just runs all the birthdays, so they acknowledge their employees' birthdays. And
Speaking of acknowledgement, we must acknowledge your wife.
Okay.
It's not just Craig. I'm here too, she says. So there you go. And then,
honey,
and by the way, it looks wonderful with her new hair color. By the way,
it doesn't. Yes,
she looks classic.
rock
And yeah,
anything.
Melissa. Matter of fact, she goes. She just can't do anything wrong with her hair,
Right.
can she? That's what we said when she was scrolling. So,
she's got good hair.
and then Cindy.
Unlike this guy.
Huh?
Unlike this guy.
Oh, you look good. You look good.
Well, for the little that's up there, I mean,
You work.
I got more than you, but I
gotta
guess
make it work.
You know what God said? He covered few heads. Oh, I forget the way it goes.
Don't misquote God,
Oh,
Jim.
yeah, I know. Jesus, I used to use this one all the time.
That'd be
But
bad.
he covered most heads he covered with. Oh God, forget it.
We'll go back to that.
Yeah, okay. It's gone. It's
Exactly.
gone.
Commercial break.
See, that's what happens when you go topless up here.
things escape.
And Cindy says bubbly is all I drink.
Me too.
Yeah.
So there you go. So I understand that. Any last things you wanna mention? Like how would somebody get in touch with you?
You can call us at 860-367-9115. You can visit our website at lathropvending.com and follow us on Facebook for sure.
All right.
Yeah, God made but few perfect heads. The rest he covered with hair.
There we go.
There you
Took me a
go.
while to get that one out. Man.
That means I'm screwed.
Right. So
All
I
right.
will give you one last quick story though about
Go
when
ahead.
you talking about your Plainfield.
Yes,
experience.
yes.
So during our volleyball days, when Camp's playing volleyball, my
I know that's over
supervisors,
now, isn't it?
yes,
Oh, that's sad.
my supervisors hated volleyball season because we had the vending at all the schools, and I was at all the schools every night, and they would dread, "Where are you going? What's the schedule? You're going to Ledyard this week?" And they would send somebody to Ledyard to make sure the machines were 100% correct before I walked in there, because nobody wanted the picture of a problem in the
you
machines.
do that, you take the picture and go fix
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they did not like that.
You can also get your machines wrapped too.
Yeah,
Which I
yeah.
think
Our
is pretty
Grizzle,
cool.
our Grizzle High School machine is actually wrapped with the Grizzle logo and done by Pro Cop Signs for
Yeah,
Emerald.
which is another member of ours.
Yeah.
Go figure.
Bring real live Wolverines in there and have them stationed on each side of your
No,
machine.
Yeah.
Wolverines will eat anything.
I know.
Well, as long as they pay for
It's a free promotion you're going to provide.
it. There you go.
All right, we got to wrap things up because we have Brian Lanoue
Yes.
waiting outside to come on in. But Mark, thank you very much.
Well, thank you for having me.
Of
Thank
course,
you.
anytime. Mark from Lathrop Vending and Angela from the Greater Norwich Area Chamber of Commerce. So,
Thank you so much.
so thank you very much for coming in for Chamber Chat.
Chamber chat.
I didn't sing your little song today.
Oh no.
You know, it's Chamber Chat, Chamber Chat. Angela's got the Chamber Chat.
break up
Woo!
something every
Chamber
time.
Chat. Woo! Chamber Chat. Jim!
Yes.
Nothing. Chamber Chat. All right. Thank you very much.
You don't want to
Thank
hear
you so
this.
much.
Yes, thank you guys.
And yeah, it was definitely a pleasure. And we talking. Well, talk to you more about what we talked about outside. So.
Sounds good.
All right. So, all right. Mark Lathrop from Lathrop Vending and Angela from the Greater Norwich Area Chamber of Commerce. And we'll do Chamber Chat once again next month.
Yeah.
With another guest.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Thank you.
No problem. We're going to break for news. And right after news, we got 45th District Rep Brian Lanoue waiting in the wings to talk to you right here on SNSN.
The 8:30 a.m. report on SNSN is brought to you by the Burns Agency. With offices in Dayville and Norwich, find out why you'll buy better at Burns.
You buy better. Much better. So much better at Burns. The right insurance at the right price. You buy better at Burns. You buy better at Burns. You buy better.
When was the last time you considered the benefits of having all your insurance handled in one place? One number to call, a licensed account manager dedicated to your policies, discounts for having your policies with one company. The list goes on. Did you know the Burns Agency has a team dedicated specifically to home, auto, umbrella, flood, life insurance, business insurance, including workers' comp and professional policies? We do it all. Call, email, chat us online today. Experience the products and service our loyal customers receive and appreciate. The Burns Agency, proudly serving Eastern Connecticut since 1932.
Much better. So much better at Burns. Right insurance at the right price. You buy better at Burns. You buy better at Burns. You buy better.
Here's a look at your local news headlines on SNSN. Food distribution boxes will continue to be given out in the town of Griswold from farm to families. They're going to be Monday, May 3rd, May 10th, May 17th, and May 24th. The food boxes will be given away from 10:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. or until they run out, whatever comes first. It's going to be at the Griswold Senior Center over at Town Hall, 22 Sewell Street, here in Jewett City. Now, the box is free. There's no paperwork that is necessary. You simply drive up, they put the box in your car, and you drive away. It's all at the Griswold Senior Center and at Town Hall. Again, May 3rd, May 10th, May 17th, and May 24th. A silver alert has been issued for a 13-year-old Norwich boy. Jaden Santora is said to be white with brown hair and brown eyes. Stands about 5'7", weighs about 160 pounds. He's 13 years old. If you have any information on the whereabouts of Jaden Santora, call Norwich Police at 860-886-5561. The Connecticut Senate has passed a bill that would remove the religious exemption for childhood vaccinations. The Senate vote was 22-14. The bill will now go to Governor Ned Lamont's desk, and he has said he will sign it. The bill previously passed in the House with a vote of 90-53. If you weren't aware, back last week, effective April 20th, all town services were opened back to the public again, which includes Town Hall. Now, if you do happen to go to Town Hall, you still must wear a face mask and maintain a 6-foot social distance at all times. But Town Hall in Griswold is now open to the public. Griswold was scheduled to have a baseball game today against Plainfield. It was a makeup game from last week, but it's been canceled and rescheduled once again. And they will play the game next Thursday afternoon. Griswold's next games will be against Woodstock Academy Saturday, and that will be at home, and it will be a doubleheader.
The 8:30 a.m. report has been brought to you by the Burns Agency. With offices in Dayville and Norwich, find out why you'll buy better at Burns.
Here's a look at your local weather forecast on SNSN. Showers pretty much all day today, and even a chance of a thunderstorm later on today. Chance of precipitation around 80%. Temperatures around 66 degrees. Showers will continue through the evening, as well as a possibility of a thunderstorm. Temps around 58 degrees. New rainfall amounts between 1/4 and 1/2 inch of rain is possible. And then a small chance of rain for Friday as the clouds start to move away. Partly sunny skies. Temperatures reaching almost 68 degrees.
They mix it up a lot, and I can listen to them for longer periods of time.
SNSN.
And good morning. Welcome back to the show, everybody. It is 8:40. Running a little bit late, but we had a really good conversation with the Greater Norwich Area Chamber of Commerce, as well as Mark Lathrop from Lathrop Vending. So let's move right on into our next conversation. We have a guest who has been here many times before. We're glad to have him back once again, the 45th District Representative here in the state of Connecticut, Mr. Brian Lanoue. How are you?
Mike, good morning. How we doing?
Pretty good.
Always a
Pretty
pleasure.
good.
Jim, good to see you.
Nice to see you again, Ryan.
Likewise.
So let's just jump right into it head first. There's a lot of things.
I don't got my sneakers on though. That's the only thing. I can't really jump too
Oh, you're not gonna need them.
well.
We got some stuff. Anyway, bunch of bills that are coming out of committee.
Yep.
And going in. But here's one I want to talk about right away, and I think this is pretty much a hot topic. Is the Senate passed it's HB 6423. And what it does is, which I know you know, but which removes the religious exemption from childhood vaccines. Tell us about that.
Yep.
And your stance, and the way you voted, for the 45th district.
Yeah. Well, thanks for the question. I'll not going to sugarcoat it. 6423 is a horrible bill. It's probably one of the worst I voted on since my time in the legislature. 6423, of course, the Senate voted on it this week. Last week, we did. We meaning the House, and it was a 17-hour debate, and it was absolutely. It's very, very dangerous. The precedent that is being set, set up here, and where we're going with this. There's a few things this bill does. Number one, if somebody has a deeply held religious objection to one particular vaccine or a whole host of vaccines, they can, as a parent, say use a religious exemption and say, I'm not going to inject my child with that particular vaccine.
Mhm.
That has been the law for decades. And now, what the legislature has done, and the governor by signing this yesterday, it removes that religious exemption. So you have somebody in the Department of Health that will can add a vaccine to the vaccine schedule, and there is no recourse for the parents. And what the legislature also said, and many of those that were the proponents of the bill, is this essentially they're not aware of what religions or what religious practices don't believe in the religious exemption. There's been arguments that most religions they're not aware of any religions that object to vaccines.
Mhm.
Talking about institutions, and that's very, very dangerous because religion, particularly in this country, the freedom of religion is not just where you go to a church or a synagogue and practice on the day of worship, but religion can be very personal, deeply held set of religious beliefs. And when we start as a government defining what religion is and is not, and the parameters of it, as it relates to your set of religious beliefs and wanting to be able to practice them freely, we're going down a very dangerous, slippery slope.
This is a very scary bill, and there are things that, of course, that bother me. But Jim, I know you had some comments about this.
Well, I guess my comment is I'm a lot older than most of you are. Okay, I think when I was a child, we maybe had a total of about 7 shots. Okay, now depending on which piece of literature you read, the vaccine schedule now, I'm seeing numbers anywhere between 68 and somewhere close to 80 different shots. Now, some of them are giving it multiple shots, okay, which is even more dangerous. They talk about mercury having been removed from all the vaccines. Well, that's not necessarily true, because my understanding is that these shots that you get, the multi-shots, where you get 2 or 3 or 4 different vaccines simultaneously, mercury is in those in there as a preservative. Okay. Now, going on, look at the rate of autism that we have in this country at this particular point. Okay. The numbers are ridiculous, and I don't have them in front of me today. But when I was young, the numbers were maybe 1 in 10,000, and I'm guessing at that number today. The numbers now are ridiculous. I mean, we've got an autism epidemic. Now, I'm not saying autism is fully from vaccines. We have a lot of environmental changes and things like that. But the science on this COVID vaccine, that is certainly severely in dispute. Okay.
But I think what we're talking about here too is we're talking about the taking rights away from parents.
Yes, but I wanted to set that background.
Right.
Okay. Now, I mean, this battle has been going on for quite some time. Okay, and I guess you had over 4,000 people turn out down there to protest down there. I know when I was thinking about this some time back, if I was a parent and I had a young child today, the Constitution of the state of Connecticut guarantees a free public education to every student. If you are going to take and keep my child out of school because I refuse to have them have a vaccine put in them that may be detrimental to their health, I am going to send my children to private school, and then I am going to sue the state of Connecticut to pay for that.
Jim, I hate to burst your bubble on this, but you mentioned private school. They're bound by this as well.
Oh, God.
And that's that's another problem where your private schools, your parochial schools are bound by this.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a bill. I'm not saying God willing, don't come back, but it was before my time in the legislature. But I first learned about it, tell you the truth, campaigning, going to the doors, and a number of people asking me about how I feel about a DCF inspection of people's homes who homeschool their children. That was a bill that was up there, not that long ago,
mm-hmm.
where if you decide to homeschool your kid, you're bound by a DCF inspection. The bill didn't pass. but we can see where this is going. And the Marty Looney, the Senate president, actually, in some comments few weeks ago, implied that parents who don't vaccinate their children are perhaps neglectful and abusive of their children by not vaccinating their children. That's a completely irresponsible statement from any sitting state senator, never mind the Senate president pro tem. I mean, that is a very irresponsible statement. He went on to say that's why we have DCF. So I'm very concerned about where this ship is heading.
Well, he certainly is the appropriately named, then, isn't he, Looney?
But and this is where this is very this is very dangerous, and also the checks and balances. On as this relates to the three branches of government. Senator Heather Summers and Representative Dauphiné had authored several amendments, and one of them that I called on the House floor was to have a full General Assembly vote on any vaccine that's now added to the schedule. The full legislature needs to vote on that before that takes hold. That amendment failed. So let's think about this, right? The Department of Health, the governor down in the flow chart within DPH, somebody in that department can add to the schedule a vaccine in the future. We don't know what this vaccine is. We don't know what it could do, what it doesn't do. And as you mentioned, several vaccines have been added, certainly since we've been children. I think we're up to like 72 now, different vaccines.
Yeah, that fits in the numbers I just quoted. Yep.
So they're going to add, if somebody, a future vaccine a year from now, 3 years from now, 5 years from now, gets added to that schedule. It gets put on the schedule, and there's a committee of 18 legislators. It's the Regulations Review Committee. If 9 of the 18 say, yes, that's okay, we approve that vaccine, it goes in. There is not a full legislative vote. I was okay with that process where you have the ultimate check on government, in this case, would be parents. For the religious exemption or other reasons, they can, under that religious exemption, they can say, I don't want my child vaccinated. I don't like to. I'm not going to vaccinate them with this new vaccine, and that's part of the checks and balances. And ultimately, it was the people that have that say. That's now removed. That's removed, and they're going to theoretically they could add any once that vaccine's added to the schedule. People are going to be calling me, parents and constituents, and say, Brian, Representative Lanoue, we expect you to fight for us, and we want you to vote no on adding that vaccine. And you know what I can tell them? I have no authority.
Why do we have a legislative body then?
That's right.
You got 18 dictators.
Just like what we have with the executive powers. There's a legislative panel of 10 people, and if 6 out of 10 don't stop the governor, the emergency powers, the emergency declarations stay in place. That's under the under the current law. That's very problematic. There's 187 of us between the House and the Senate, and with all due respect to the legislative leadership, I'm not going to cede my power as a representative from the 45th. And so that's what's happened there, and that's what's happened here with the vaccines.
So you're saying that basically it doesn't even take a majority. If it's a tie vote, the tie wins.
Yeah, and the majority, you think about it, there's 151 of us in the House. A simple majority would be 76. The entire House doesn't even see this.
That's saying if everybody is there and everybody is voting.
Yeah,
which doesn't always happen.
Yeah,
correct?
What I'm saying is we do not have a legislative vote. The executive branch essentially can add a new vaccine to the schedule. We do not vote. I will not have a vote as your legislator to have anything to say on that vaccine.
And you know whose fault that is, Brian? It's the people's fault, because we keep electing these people who are not doing the will of the people.
And as you said, I was at the rally this week. 3,000 people showed up. I spoke. Ann Dauphiné, Rick Hayes up north. Heather Summers was there before she went into Chambers. There was 3,000 people. We acknowledged them. Unfortunately, the majority of the legislators ignored these people's requests. People are angry. People are very upset, as they should be. This is an absolute assault on their parental rights. And then you're trying to define religion. You're taking there's no legislative oversight essentially in this, and this is very scary at this point where the prayer is with the court that we can. I think there's obviously state and federal lawsuits that will be coming on the First Amendment violation. I hope the court will see it that way, and that's where it now rests.
It's a very dangerous piece of legislation.
Yep. And again, when we don't, again, the scariest part is we do not know what we don't know.
Yeah,
we don't know
the
what's
problem.
coming, what the next vaccine is, what's going to be added, and where's the oversight? Where's the check?
Well, on the COVID vaccine, they're already talking about going to need another shot. All three of them, I think, AstraZeneca, Moderna, and Johnson & Johnson.
Yeah. So, and like you outlined
Or
some
Pfizer.
Pfizer, yeah.
You know, and like you pointed out, Jim, you outlined some concerns that you have, and you pointed out those arguments, and the idea of informed choice, being able to make that informed decision, and these parents are very informed as far as you may agree, you may not. Personally, I'm vaccinated. I would vaccinate my children, but this is not about just the vaccine. This is about parental rights and parental choice and religious.
The issue is much bigger
It
than
is.
just vaccines.
And
It sets a precedent. So
it's-
let's say they come out with a vaccine that is even more questionable than what people think there are out there now.
Yeah.
If your kids are in school and the Department of Health says, yeah, you're getting that, guess what? The kid's getting it, or else they're not going to school. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And again, it's public and private schools.
So let's
right.
let's say this, Brian. Let's just hypothesize for a minute.
The only
So-
option would be homeschooling.
Yes.
Okay.
And so I decide to homeschool my children. All right. What you already mentioned that they tried to pass a bill before about having your home inspected. How do we control this? What are we going to do about this?
We're going to have to continue to advocate. But look, the numbers are the numbers in the legislature. Unfortunately, as you mentioned, there is consequences to elections.
Yeah,
and
but they don't seem to be in this state.
Well, this was certainly a major consequence of the current makeup we have in the legislature.
Yeah.
Religious freedom and parental rights have been eroded. That's a consequence of the election.
Yeah.
And we debated for 17 hours. We went.
That was in the House.
This was in the House.
Yeah.
Senate, several hours as well. I don't have the exact number of hours, but it went into the evening. So what we said is certainly in the minority party was, look, you guys have the numbers. You're going to pass it. You're probably end up passing it, but we're going to make you work for it. This is not going to be easy. Everything's going to be pointed out. We're gonna do everything we can. We gave them every opportunity. We pointed out there was several very responsible amendments that were proposed, and every one of them failed. And it's very disheartening. But
how does that make you feel as a legislator, knowing that you're voting your conscience? You know you're voting what you feel is in the best interest of your constituents. How does that make you feel when something like this is just, I mean, you just go, because, I've known you for a while now from coming in here. You're a straight shooter. You're an emotional guy. Yeah. You're a grizzled resident. You're just Brian. You know what I mean? And you've become, Brian Lanoue, 45th District Representative. You're unlike a lot of the other people that we talk to. Not a career politician. You just, athletic background.
They want to put personal responsibility on our police officers. Okay, hold them liable for bad decisions they make. Maybe it's long past the time we personally hold our legislators responsible because they can cause 1,000 times more harm than a police officer. And yet we want to hold the police officers liable. Let's hold our legislators personally liable for dumb decisions.
Yeah, it's absolutely. I think we need to certainly be bound by the laws and consequences that we make. I agree with that.
So how does that make you feel?
That's
yeah.
It's a great question. I appreciate that. Appreciate your those comments as
Oh,
well.
we got to know you.
Matter of
We've
fact,
got
I
to
didn't
know
hear you
you.
that well. Could you say that again?
Great guy, you know. Eligible bachelor, are you?
Yeah, I'm certainly a bachelor. I don't know how the eligibility requirements, but yes, I am. I'm a single man. But you know, I'll be. It's a great question. You know, I'll be honest with you, it's not a great feeling. You know,
I'm sure.
Any organization that I've been involved with, I feel like I've been a team player. I feel like I've contributed, and as far as the end product goes. So being a member of the legislature, when I see stuff like this get passed, I almost feel in some kind of weird psychological way that I'm responsible because I'm a part of this body. I'm there and I'm in the same room, and yet there's not a thing I can do about it. Other than I think
it's going to be a big weight on your shoulders.
Everything that I did, it's very, very disheartening. And I do have some bills I can certainly talk about, ones that are advancing, which I think are positive.
I do want to mention a couple of, just to give you an idea what what the residents in the area feel. Sarah says, "Thank you, Brian, for honoring your duty to protect our rights in Connecticut." And don't really know what her name is. It's Cat Lav. Doesn't have a real name up there, so it just says, "So proud to be in Brian's district." So, there you go. So there's how
I appreciate those comments. I'm proud to have them. And I got great people. No doubt about it. I say that every time. It's I'm truly blessed. And that's another thing. Is this may sound corny or whatever, but you're up there and there's a lot of late hours. As you're hearing the debate and you're seeing what's happening. I see the faces of the people I've talked to. During my time when I'm at their doors or events before obviously COVID and whatnot, but telephone conversations I'm having, I'm recalling all that and what valid points people are making, what they're saying. You go up there, you try to articulate those arguments on their behalf, and in situations like this, you just see it fall on deaf ears, and
it's Kat Silva, by the way. She said.
Okay.
That's her name. So
very good. Hello, Kat. I appreciate those comments, and but it can be very discouraging when you see votes like this.
So do you think that the majority of legislators have an open opinion going into these things and are actually willing to listen to opinions that don't fit theirs and then evaluate them, or do you think they've just got a closed mind?
I think it depends on the issue, but obviously we can see where this is going. People were very outspoken. You look at the hearing, the number of people who wanted to testify, who signed up to testify. Most were not allowed to testify because of they put a 24-hour cap on the hearing, which is not the intent of public hearings. The intent of public hearings is you're supposed to hear everybody. So when they had to cap it and shut down the people from testifying and cap it after 24 hours, that tells you something. When you look at the Capitol grounds and it's full of people in the middle of the week, in the middle of the day, people taking time off from work, people taking time out of their lives to physically go up there and plead their case. I think if you're a responsible legislator on this issue, you should have listened. And as we see, most have not. Yeah. Most of and the governor signing this bill so very quickly.
You mentioned court cases. Okay,
we got a break, Jim. So go ahead.
And in my personal experience with the court system, not that I've had very much, is I have no faith in the court system whatsoever these days.
Well, I'll tell you, we've had some wins. There was an Obama appointed judge in Connecticut, federal judge, and there was a the two colleagues of mine, Representative Dubitsky and Representative Fishbein, who are also attorneys, represented as lawyers. They represented the CCDL on how they failed to process firearm permits because of the fingerprinting, and they weren't so they weren't moving any firearm permits forward during the COVID. That was declared essentially unconstitutional by an Obama-appointed judge.
Good for him.
The ruling from Judge McCousher on the legislature needs to ring in on these when declaration emergencies are called by the governor. So there are some wins, and I'm certainly not a constitutional scholar, but I think this is in my view, certainly everything that I know about the Constitution, a blatant violation of First Amendment.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, we're going to take a quick break right now. You want to hang with us for a little bit? We have our next guest coming in. You might enjoy this gentleman. He's a time traveler from the year 2030.
Oh yeah.
His name is Joe.
Excellent.
And gonna hang for a little bit.
Well, I do have to run.
Okay.
But I would definitely want to come back, and we can do this soon, and definitely recap.
I want to talk about the bills, because we talked so much about the vaccination bill, that Lamont signed into law.
Yeah, I'd like to hear some of the ones he was going to mention. Yeah.
Well,
exactly, but we spent so much time on that one.
Well, that's because you talk so much, Mike.
Well, this is the vaccine was this is a very important topic. I'm glad we
it's
had
the hot topic, and I'm glad
really
you were here. Yeah.
But I will absolutely be back, and
we got time next week.
We'll come back next week.
You want to come back next Thursday? I'll give you a full hour.
Next I'll tell you what. Next Thursday, I'm in Hartford. We're in session, but I will.
How about Tuesday?
How about we do it by phone? Does that work?
Or Tuesday?
I'm also in session.
All right, I'll give you a full hour.
Yeah, but I will. We'll definitely come in. Let's set aside that hour, and we'll go through a lot of different things.
All right, because I know there are 4 bills total that we want to talk about.
Yeah, there are 4 that got moved out of committees. We'll see. Those are in some of the budget committees now, but we'll see what happens. So I'll definitely be back this week, even if it's by phone. And
we can do that
because we're in the midst of session here. But I will love to come back, and we'll dissect it.
All right.
All right, my
Thanks,
friend.
Brian.
Good seeing you.
Jim, you too. So Brian Lanoue, the 45th District Rep here in the state of Connecticut, representing us here in Griswold, in Voluntown, Plainfield, Sterling. That's 4, right?
Yeah, that's 4.
But it's 5.
Well, part of Plainfield.
Lisbon?
I don't know.
It's not Canterbury. I'll tell you that.
Sterling, Voluntown, Griswold, part of Plainfield. I don't know. Maybe it is part. Maybe it's Lisbon. Oh, Lisbon residents should certainly be able to ring in and tell us. Of course, we should know anyways.
All right, come on over here, Jim, so we can see you. We got to have our friend Joe to be able to see you. Joe, you there?
I'm here. How you doing?
What's up, brother?
You notice he didn't want any part of the time traveling. He said, "Oh no, I gotta actually gotta run. Gotta let the cats out."
Good morning, Joe. It's Jim Barney here.
Hey, Jim. How you doing?
Good, thank you. And yourself?
Oh, I'm fantastic.
All right, so we talked a couple times this week. I'm glad you're. I know we talked on Tuesday, but I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to. It's been crazy.
No, I get it. Same with me. I never have time to do much. I've overextended myself.
I didn't even get it. I haven't even been on the Discord the last couple of months.
Yeah, I noticed. I noticed, man.
It's been pretty crazy. So Joe is here. He's our resident time traveler from the year 2030, and Joe, I do want to mention and talk about right away. So many things are happening that you have talked about, and people are like, who's this Joe guy? Is he on crack? What is it? Right. But if you think about, if you review, which I'd like to do, of the things that you talked about, that said, hey, look, this is going to happen. This is going to happen. And it is all happening. I mean, yeah, we do our Psychic Tuesday thing, but this is different. It is much different. You're picking specific events, specific time frames, and boom, they happen. So give us let's review a couple of these. I'll give you the floor.
Well, what do you want to talk about? Because like you said, so much is going on. I know you guys
anything you want.
I know you guys watched the speech last night.
I did not. I did not.
I actually was streaming it on the Discord. You know, we teach people how to protect themselves for a financial collapse that's looming. And, you know, it took precedent because it is the first time he addressed Congress and the last time he's going to address Congress.
So this is it. He's not going to do it again, correct?
Yeah. There's they do it every year, right? Once a year, it's like sort of what was that last night? State of the Union, or I'm not sure what it was. But
State of Biden.
Yeah, State of Biden. But I did turn it on, and it was very eerie because I've been saying for a long time that you know, Biden and Harris were going to be president, and poof, here we are. And then I told everyone it's very short-lived. September comes and he's going to step down due to his mental faculties not being up to par. And you have a Harris Pelosi presidency. So, and there they were right there, you know. And it's, if you looked on CNN, the picture, you know, the main picture, Joe Biden, and then up in the corner, you know, they're prepping you for this so that it's very easy for the transition. You're going to start seeing that a lot more about just putting them two together, photo ops and whatnot, because that's ultimately coming. But I talked about the assault on the Second Amendment, you know, and this year, this year has been especially, at least they've presented it as especially violent, you know. And I believe the numbers are up. I believe the violent crimes are up since last year. A lot of that has to do with COVID, and people aren't in a good mental state. You know, you put them, you lock them down. You know, we've had this very odd time since last year, since March. You know, things are not the same, and it puts people in a bad mental state. So, but it's.
I remember you talking about Kamala Harris. I mean, we've mentioned it on this show ad nauseum. How many times, you know, you mentioned what was happening before really anybody knew who Kamala Harris was. You talked about, you know, Biden and Harris going to win. And this is all stuff, the attack on the Second Amendment rights. These are all things. And then, you know, the funny thing is when you would start talking about it on social media, you got so much heat and hate from people calling you every name under their sun.
Especially Trump fans, Trump supporters. They did not want to hear that. And look, I never said it was the right move. I never said, you know, I supported that. I just gave you the facts, you know, and it's.
Yeah, and I can vouch for that because, you know, I watched everything and, you know, hung tight through it all. And you know, Jim, he never did. He never said, you know, well, I believe that this should happen. I believe, or he didn't co-sign anything. He just said, this is what it is, and this is what's going to happen. And everything has come to pass.
Well, I've been reading a book, Joe, The Real Lincoln, and one chapter in that book is discussing secession. And the state of Texas, when it joined the Union, they reserved the right to leave the Union, along with other states that joined it as part of the initial 13 colonies. We've had a movement in Northern California to create the state of Jefferson. Eastern Washington and Eastern Oregon talking with Idaho as being becoming affiliated with Idaho as opposed to the coastal Washington and Oregon. But you came back from 2030. Do you see any significant moves to secede from the United States?
No, and I'm going to tell you, this is used to show the divisiveness of I'm sorry, the division in the country. You basically have a split, and there are supporters of this new movement, this new agenda, even though they don't know the entire the entire plan that's being worked in. Again, I always tell people, like, look, you get presented surface. It's what's below the surface. There's the substance. There's where you actually have to do a little research, because they're only going to give you surface. And people support that surface thinking that they're, ushering in something great that's going to transform this country. And ultimately, what's below the surface is, a complete overhaul of the Constitution. And I know it's sad, but this new generation, they really don't know what the Constitution means. They don't understand that, people died multiple times in multiple events to keep our freedoms, and whenever it was under attack throughout the world, we were there, as a beacon of hope for whomever, hey, look, we're free over here, and you can have that. This new generation doesn't understand that, and hell, I'm not even sure that some of the older generation gets it anymore. I had a long conversation with somebody 25 years my senior, and just totally brainwashed by current day events and the current narrative. And we got into this long talk about Fauci, and he's actually seen as a hero to some. And I can't let it get me outside my box, so I present what I present, and I say, hey, if you want to know the truth, just do some reading. I'm not even going to try to sway you. Just dig a little, and you'll see the truth. But they're under attack. The Second Amendment, to go back to what we were initially talking about, it's as good as gone. And people, especially people that are advocates for the Second Amendment, say, oh no, never happened. It's slowly eroding. Every time they present another shooting, I think there was one last night. Every time there's an act of violence, every time there's a police involved shooting, even if it's justified, it's presented as hey, maybe they shouldn't have shot this person. Maybe they could have tased them or detained them somehow. Your rights are slowly fading. So,
and the general populace just doesn't seem to get that.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. I don't even know if they want to get it. Everybody's so fatigued with everything that has transpired in the last 18 months that I don't think they want to get it. I just think they're like, oh yeah, I can't take another event. Let's just go ahead and go through the motions and let the cards fall where they may. And that's not a good approach. I mean, it's just not.
Well, talking to Jim's point, like we just suffered, I feel, a big blow here in Connecticut to our freedoms, where the governor signed into law yesterday about they've taken away religious freedom exemptions away from vaccination. So to go to public or private schools, they've included private schools as well. If the kids don't have those vaccinations that are on that DPH list, then your option is homeschool.
Well, I remember in November trying to get people to do a rush to this religious exemption. Try to get something on paper to protect yourself, because I said it would close very quickly. There's now states mandating, or at least trying to sneak it in. It's not on CNN. It's not front page news. To mandate this, or you're not allowed to leave the state. Like you're going to be detained if you leave the state. So I know Oklahoma is doing something around those lines, and I might be just a little off. I got so much going on, and I know West Virginia is doing something similar. So you're going to see this a lot more. People thought that the summer would bring a reprieve. You got the sun out, people outside, not inside.
Yeah.
But you're going to see these numbers continue to go up. Whether they are inflated falsely or not. I mean, we'll never have the facts, but you're not going to get that reprieve. This is an onslaught for everyone to get this vaccine. And the more I investigate this, because I'm an employer, that's where they're going to get a lot of people who say they're not going to get it. The employer is going to mandate that you have it or you don't have a job. So I'm an employer, and I'm trying to protect my employees' rights to decide, not trying to sway whether they do it or not. That's not my place, but I want to protect their rights, and
but it's going to go much further than that. It's going to be you want government and state assistance.
Yeah.
If you're going to be on that, whether it's food stamps or cash benefits from the state.
Yeah.
They're going to say, well,
student aid, financial aid is going to be one of those.
See a doctor.
Yeah.
Well, that's part of the whole problem, is because the people have been bribed by government to vote in a certain way because of their benefits.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's, it's a shame that everyone doesn't see what's really going on, behind closed doors. Most of these individuals, and I say most because there are exceptions to every rule, but they play golf together and they have outings together, and they where they don't wear a mask, just not in public. And I'm pretty sure they laugh or joke about how we carry this out. We carry this out in our families, in our circles where we don't agree with one another, and they're all working on the same team.
Yeah, they argue and fight in public, but they're buddies in private.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why my YouTube is the back room, because that's where all the deals are made. That's where everything. It's a gentleman's agreement, handshake, and yeah, we'll get it done. So
I'm going to take a quick break to do. I believe it or not, Joe, I get some commercials I got to play.
Oh, okay.
So because we've had such a crazy morning.
Yeah,
I need to get these in, and these. So hang tight.
Absolutely.
And we're going to go ahead and make sure you go to our local sponsors, right, Jim?
Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely, because they're the ones that power this radio station, and we hope you patronize them. And here are a few right now.
Hey, I'm I'm Jess, but you can call me the Tire Queen. For the best deals on tires, come and see me at Advanced Automotive on Route 138 in Griswold. Call me at 860-376-8687. But definitely don't talk to my dad. He's definitely not the Tire King.
And right now, Jess the Tire Queen has great deals and excellent service waiting for you at Advanced Automotive, Route 138, Griswold.
As a business, your customers are your first priority. At Jewett City Savings Bank, their first priority is helping businesses like yours to succeed. Here's what Rick Hermanot of Econ Hill Turkey Farm in Sterling had to say about doing business with Jewett City Savings Bank.
Well, you know, when we started our farm, it was just a little more than a hobby. We had 10 or 15 turkeys, then we grew to 30, then we grew to 60. Our goal was to double every year. Pretty quickly, though, we got to where we needed a bank to work with. We were looking to develop a lending relationship as we grew our business, and Jewett City was there for us from the start. We started out just buying equipment for our processing facility, and they helped us finance that. And then as our business grew, we put a turkey coop up, and then we bought the farm next door, which was a really big deal for us, and they were there for us on that as well. Yeah, we really enjoy working with Jewett City Savings Bank and would highly recommend them to other small businesses.
To learn more about how the commercial lending team at Jewett City Savings Bank can assist you, call 860-376-4444 or go to jcsbank.com. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Here's a look at your local weather forecast on SNSN. Showers pretty much all day today and even a chance of a thunderstorm later on today. Chance of precipitation around 80%. Temperatures around 66 degrees. Showers will continue through the evening as well as a possibility of a thunderstorm. Temps around 58 degrees. New rainfall amounts between 1/4 and 1/2 inch of rain is possible. And then a small chance of rain for Friday as the clouds start to move away. Partly sunny skies. Temperatures reaching almost 68 degrees.
Streaming live.
I love it. It's the best rock station ever.
We listen to you all the time.
Broadcasting from within our 6 feet social distance.
The streaming news and sports network.
All right, welcome back to the show. We are talking to Joe, our resident time traveler, who is talking to us from of course, parts unknown.
Sound effects and ads. This is awesome.
Yeah, pretty crazy, huh?
Yeah.
And of course, we have Jim Barney here, who has been sitting in with us the last few times. On Time Traveler Thursday. A month, yeah. So Joe, you know, I mean, when people find out what you do and what you have done and where you come from, do they just want to sit there and talk to you about what's happening tomorrow, what's happening next week, what's happening next month?
I got to be honest. I don't share this locally too much with anyone. Just, you know, you can imagine. Majority of people roll their eyes and go, okay. Yeah.
I will smite thee.
I mean, it's pretty silly, but I refer them to social media. Unfortunately, all of the real substance, you know, got taken down because I only used one platform, and they finally got fed up with the truth. Nobody wants you to know this information. I mean,
and that's part of the problem these days is that you have all these social media platforms that claim that you have freedom of speech and freedom of expression, which you really don't.
No.
You know, I mean, Facebook, they take your stuff down. TikTok, they take your stuff down. And I don't mean just you, but everybody. YouTube is getting bad with it. Huh?
They've started to partially ban my lives and my videos.
Already?
Yeah, already. So, you know, you log into your dashboard and you can see, and I have alerts popping up now. If I keep it just crypto based, we're good. But the moment I try to slide in, and that's one of the reasons why I jumped into the crypto, is because I still want to have this link with everyone so that they can be updated and informed. But yeah, they've started to do that. I'm real close to the monetization side of it. You know, I'm like teetering on 1,000 followers. So once we get to that point, you know, anything that I say that isn't surface, yeah, they're going to. That's how they try to hit you. I don't care either way if I monetize it or not. But as I approach that number, it seems to be getting a little worse.
Yeah, nothing.
Nothing at the moment.
Nothing at the moment. Okay. So what can we expect, Joe?
I mean,
this year. Then I want to start talking a little bit of crypto with you.
I keep the focus on the financial collapse. I did a video the other day, which again, these social media platforms have hindered the amount of people that I can reach. They don't inform people when I go live. I never, nobody gets alerted when I have a new video. People have to physically come out and try to find me, and sometimes can't find me. Even though the accounts are still up, you know, they make it very hard to reach the account. So they have to go through all their followers or the people they're following, find me, and then go into the page. But I'm starting to break it down into pieces. Supply chain is going to have, it's going to break down for a little while. And I want people to realize what happens during that time, because I don't think anyone knows how to fish and filter water and, you know, things you learned in the Boy Scouts. I don't even know if the Boy Scouts are still around.
No, they're done.
Are they done?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you don't learn this stuff anymore. And if you can't go to Kroger or wherever your grocery store is, here it's Kroger, Giant Eagle, and a few others.
You are no longer from parts unknown. You are talking Kroger.
But you know what I'm saying? If
you realize that people are going, they're going, where the hell's Kroger? Where the hell's Kroger?
Well, I've told everyone I'm in the Midwest. I mean, it's not a secret. But if you can't go to the grocery store, what are you going to do? You know, what are you going to do? Now, here's something on the backside of that goes in line with what you guys were talking about earlier. If you want the government to feed you, you're going to have to get the vaccine. You know, you're going to have to take one for the team. Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, that they're tying this in to where no matter what, you're going to have to get it. And I told people in the beginning, they said, well, what if we don't get this? What happens? I said, you're going to be labeled a dissident, and you're going to have a very hard time. You know, you better have means and ways to go about things, or you're going to succumb. You're going to have to. You know, you're going to have to get this. So that's ultimately the goal. And I want to start prepping people for the substance behind just, hey, there's going to be a financial collapse. I'm starting to hit, you know, certain areas with that, and with Biden stepping down, and with this digital identifier. I know it seems far-fetched. I know it seems futuristic, but it's really not. You know, when you think about it, it's already in practice in parts all around the world. You know, Switzerland has I think it's Geneva. I could be wrong, but it's the whole city. You know, people have opted into this program. They get the chip in their wrist. You know, that's how they open doors, how they clock in, it's how they pay for stuff. I mean, it's already here. So,
yeah,
I think Sweden's pretty far down the road in that direction too, Joe.
Yeah,
but it's even deeper than that as far as like how they are starting. For example, I just want to read this comment right here from Enki, the Sumerian god. I usually get alerts from all of SNSN's lives, and I don't get one this morning I didn't get one this morning for the first time. I found that odd. By the way, good morning, all.
Yeah, I mean, you'll start to see it, and that's why So I made friends with bigger creators when this really took off. At one point, I had tens of thousands of people that were attached to the account. A lot of the bigger creators have backed off because it's now affecting them. You know, so I mean, it doesn't take a genius to put it together. It doesn't.
It does not. And one of the things that like is happening here, just the state of Connecticut, and this is on a very small scale, but this is where it starts and then it grows.
Yeah.
The state of Connecticut, what they're doing now is like as a part of like the Reopen Connecticut plan. If you go to Connecticut or ctvisit.com, they're running a program called Have a Drink on Us, where if you go to a restaurant between, I think it's May 13th to the 19th, or maybe it's the week after, but either way, if you go in there and you can show your vaccination card, you get a free drink, either alcoholic or non-alcoholic. So what they're doing is they're saying, okay, you chuckle, but this is really the beginning of what you've been talking about. Is it not?
I mean, it is, but I just,
it's kind of a lame ass promo, but I mean,
yeah, a drink, like have a drink on us.
Yeah, and it's really not on the state of Connecticut. It's a drink. It's the restaurant giving it away.
Right.
I mean,
right.
I understand the program where they want to try to push people into restaurants, in different establishments, try to get business back up. But give me a free steak, and then I'm showing up. But
yeah, or something. Yeah. It's not worth a steak. It's not worth a car. I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah.
It's just, the more I dive into this, the more I'm. It never ceases to amaze me. Each day I find something new.
Laura says, "Is there a time frame from when this will start to happen?" And honestly, Joe, I think it's happening now.
Yeah, it's been happening, but it's now visible. It's been going on for a very long time. The destruction of our freedoms, and I'm not a Constitution guy. I consider myself a patriot, and I know that's a bad word, and I'm sure you just got flagged on whatever, YouTube, whatever, for that.
Your power will go off.
But yeah, I mean, I love the country, I love the freedoms, but it's been under attack for decades. Unfortunately, we get to live out the final part of this.
What do you mean the final part? Now, when you say the final part of this, people are going to take that as it's the end of the world as we know it.
Look, it's the end of your life in its current form.
Yeah, I've said that for quite some time, Joe. I think we're living in the end days now.
Yeah. I mean, it's true.
I think the end days as far as freedoms are concerned, and not so much as far as the end of civilization,
It's the end of civilization as we know it. It's not the end of the world, but your current life, your everyday life is about to drastically change. And again, I'm going to say this. I say it every time I'm on here, Mike. COVID is the catalyst for all of this. You will set back in a decade and you will have conversations, and everything that's changed, you'll draw a direct line to the Kenora.
Yeah, pretty obvious.
And I hate to come on here and just speak doom and gloom. Can this change? Sure, it can change. Do I believe it's going to? No, I don't. I don't see too many differences the second time around. Now, I am much more aware, so I do pick up on things. I do see things that aren't the same or may go in a different direction, but in the totality, guys, like we're headed quicker to the end. I mean, I believe that.
So it's quicker this time than it was last time. Is that what you're saying?
I mean, it feels that way, but it could be like
Or is
I
that
said,
just because you're paying more attention to it?
right. It could be that, but it does feel accelerated. And I hate to I wish I could come on here and talk about sunshine and rainbows and harmony and
unicorns and puppies.
Yeah, it's just not I mean, we're just not headed in a good place. And everyone is so worried about this is how everyone walks around. That's it. When you're looking down, you can't see what's in front of you. And that's a metaphoric and a literal statement. You cannot see what's going on.
You ever see that video on YouTube? It's called "Look Up from Your Phone."
I don't.
It's a story about how. I'll just give you the gist of it. And all you got to do is search "Look Up from Your Phone" on YouTube, and it's a story. It's an English guy, and it starts off. You see a gentleman walking with his phone, staring, walking down the road, and what happens is a woman comes this way, he's this way, and they're both staring at their phones, and they both pass each other. Then they rewind back, and they show them not looking at their phones, and they actually bump into one another. They start talking. He needed directions to somewhere. She actually walked with him. It shows them falling in love, having babies, buying homes, watching their children leave the house, growing up. A complete story, and never would have happened if they were both looking at their phones and not paying attention to the world around them. That's this.
It's a distraction. Yeah. It's meant to.
The TV.
Yeah, but see, a TV, you got to be in your home, or whatnot. This goes with you. I take my phone, I lock it in the bathroom at night. Just because I don't want to be, and I didn't used to do that.
That's why you don't answer my texts.
Because I have crypto and everything going on. I didn't used to do that, but the last few weeks I've been putting it in the bathroom and just shutting the door, because just sit around you. It's like, it's almost like an addiction, So
it's not like an addiction. It is an addiction.
Well, I hate that.
It really
I feel
is.
like I'm addicted to my device, but.
Yeah, I mean, there are actually drug prevention organizations that are now running classes, or co-signing, different organizations about social media addiction and cell phone addiction.
I know I'm a creator. I mean, that's what I'm labeled, but I get a report every week about how many hours I'm on my device. 68 hours last week. That's absurd.
I don't spend that here.
But it's because I leave it up and I listen to things as I'm working throughout the day. It's not like I'm like this for 68 hours. Right. But still, it's and even with putting it away for the evening, still the same thing. A lot of hours.
We have a policy in our house. You don't take and come to the table with your phone, and you don't get up from the table to answer your phone.
Yeah, I mean, it's a smart thing to do.
And that was one of the roughest things that I instituted when Melissa and I moved in together with her kids. It's one of the things I said is like, look, we're going to have dinner, putting your phones away. That's it. Well, you don't know. You can't tell. Yeah, I can. I said, I live here too, and I don't want phones at the dinner table. You want phones at the dinner table? You pay the money.
And that's how.
Two rules I had. That was it. Don't eat at the dinner table, and if you're gonna eat in your damn room, bring the dishes out.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and that's how things have slowly changed, and people are not the wiser. Let's talk crypto for a minute, because I've thought long and hard about this, Mike, because I always get asked, how can we change this? What can we do? And aside from doing your part as an individual and just not being a wretched soul, okay, I really feel like this is the way. I've invested a lot of money. I've made a lot of money. I've made people a lot of money. If we can create a new generation of wealth, new elites per se, because everyone knows that money is power, right? I mean, nobody does this for anything other than money. Everything is about money. It always boils back to money. If we can create a generation of new millionaires, new wealthy, then we might be able to change some things. I saw Woody Harrelson last night, a video somebody had sent me, and he talked about not buying the products that people or companies put out there, that are destructive for our physical health and our mental health. And there are a ton of them, McDonald's being the first one that pops to mind, so I really think that that's the way that we get them, is in the pocket, because to them, that's what it's all about. Money and control. That's what it's about.
So talking about crypto and what you do, whether you're talking about it or you're telling people what to buy or what to take a look at, what are some of the things that you find that are good buys right now? Something that what is it you're watching?
Ethereum is outperforming Bitcoin step for step. I mean, it's almost insane. When we had this huge...
I got to interrupt you and tell you something. I don't know if you remember, but one time on the phone, you and I were chatting, and this has got to be maybe a month and a half ago. You said to me, and it was just, I don't know if it was just a, kind of matter of fact kind of thing. You said Ethereum is going to outperform Bitcoin. And that was a month and a half, 2 months ago.
Yeah.
Before Bitcoin took his dive, Bitcoin was rivaling $62,000 at that point.
Yeah. The market cap of Bitcoin, it's shrinking. The dominance is shrinking.
It was a trillion. Well, it is at 1 trillion now. So.
Yeah. I'm saying that. I'm sorry, I misspoke. The dominance is shrinking. So I believe when we entered this bull run, we were over 60% Bitcoin dominance. That means 60% of the money is in Bitcoin. It's now 50%. 50%. So money is going in different directions. Ethereum being the second in market cap. It's the second biggest project that's out there. A lot of money going into Ethereum. A lot of people saying you might see $100,000 Ethereum. I think that's absurd, but I wouldn't be surprised to see a $10,000 Ethereum. And right now it's pushing $3,000. So if you get in, even now,
2770.
I was telling people, when Ethereum was 1280, like, hey, Ethereum's a good buy. So Ethereum, Cardano, I think Cardano has a lot of potential. It's ADA for those that are wondering. I think it has a ton of potential. It's similar to Ethereum, and a lot of projects are slated to go live on the Cardano platform. So it's not like Bitcoin; it's a little different. But I think those are two solid buys, and I gotta say XRP. That's the future, man. That's how that's going to really change the game for the average person that is just listening They have no idea what they're doing. They just throw money in XRP, and it's already happened. I have one lady that put 60 grand in October. She has over $500,000, you know, and her and I have spoken a few times. It's pretty amazing. It's not changed her life entirely, but it's definitely made things, you know, a little more comfortable. She's engaged. She's you know, looking at other projects. It's motivated her, obviously.
I bought XRP at 29.
Yeah, my average buy-in for XRP is 22 cents. Yeah. And I have a ton of it. So I think everyone should.
Before it used to be real estate.
Yeah.
Is real estate gonna
Yeah. Commercial real estate, that market is this has changed the way we all do business. You know, they want you in your home. It's easy for them to locate everyone and put everybody in sectors and you know, from a strategic standpoint on them, if you're in your home, you're not in the city, you're not at work, you're in the home. There's exceptions, obviously. You know, you can't do logistics from your home.
It's easy for them to monitor and control you at home.
Yeah.
And I can see the commercial real estate happening because more and more people are going to just start working from home continuously. I mean, and,
a lot of those buildings, Jim, are going to end up being apartments.
Stacked housing.
Yep. That's it.
Well, that's part of some of the agendas that you talk about out there. Basically, moving the people back from the suburbs and congregating them all in tight little blocks of cities.
Yeah. Easy to herd all the people up if you're in a consolidated
I had
area.
said at the beginning of this pandemic, or maybe a couple of months in, when people started working from home, I said, and Jim, I think I told you this too, that I said, this is the end of the big city. I said, I think the big city is going to start going away. Like Hartford, for example, is the insurance capital of the world. All these people are working from home now, or at least a vast majority of them. Will companies like Travelers, who loves to save money and keep their money, do you think that they're going to continue to have people work from home, or do you think they're going to reopen the buildings and pay these huge utility bills, pay these huge taxes on these buildings that they don't really obviously need?
No, but I think that as Joe said, and I just said a minute ago, that these buildings are going to be converted into residences, and we're going to be congregating more and more people in a smaller and smaller area, which is going to lead to more and more violence. It's going to be a domino effect.
Can I bring something up really quick?
Yeah.
I want to talk about what's going on in Ontario real quick, because I think everyone should pay attention to that. They're on extreme lockdown. You know, I've posted pictures on social media. Some have been taken down.
Mm-hmm.
I've put some in my YouTube videos. Parts have been clipped out, like I said. But they are building basically military barracks and vaccination stations in neighborhoods to mass vaccinate, like mandate mass vaccination. Everyone should pay attention to that, because that's something that you need to familiarize yourself with, because I've told people it's a little unnerving to see that stuff in your neighborhood. You know, I remember pulling in, I lived in a huge housing complex where there were like 7 or 8 complexes all together, golf course, the whole nine. And they had stationed in the front entrance of my particular complex. And there was a pond and everything. And I remember pulling in going, I thought it was a carnival or something. I was confused. And as we started talking as a neighborhood, as a community, people had stopped and asked questions and got ran off. And as the days passed, we started to see National Guard on the premises, and we started to see these. They're not like the FEMA modular mobile homes. They're smaller, but they're definitely medical. You see the cross, the red cross on it, and everything. So that's something everyone should be paying attention to up there.
Feelings on Polygon?
Mantic is good. Mantic is solid, and I think it's there are some of these, they call them S coins, that people should be paying attention to. Mantic is one. VeChain is another. I've made a lot of money on VeChain. Hopefully everyone in my Discord has made a lot of money, because I've been preaching it, and it's tripled in price since when I told everyone to.
Is it too late to get into VeChain?
No. Still early. When the altcoins take off, this is where you make money. You make money on Bitcoin, but really, realistically, to make a lot of money, you have to invest a lot of money. When a coin
What's
is
the symbol
20,
for VeChain?
it's VET, VET.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
But you know, when something's 20 cents and you dump $1,000 into it, and it goes up to $2, $5, $10, that's where you make your money. That's why XRP was such a big deal back in October, because I told people, buy Bitcoin. It's going to be $50,000 at the beginning of next year. People rolled their eyes. It's $50,000.
Here's something you said the other day is that, you said that the Bitcoin was going to go ahead and drop out. And then you said you thought you misquoted yourself. And then I think the number was 57 and then dropped to a number. Well, today I noticed, and I'm sure you probably did too, Bitcoin got up to 56.4 and now has dropped to 53.5 and looks like it's tanking a little bit.
Yeah, so I've learned the analytics part of this very well. I called the bottom of Bitcoin to the dollar, 47,000. It hit 47 exactly.
On the nose.
And that's where we got our bounce. And then I said around 57,000, 56,000. That would be a huge point of resistance. We'd probably hit that, drop down to test 52K again, and then we'll push up into the 60s. If Bitcoin stalls out, Bitcoin's done, in my opinion. I don't think it's then definitely declared alt season, and that's when you'll see, like VET, for instance, go up to $2, $3, $4.
What about the history of Doge?
Oh, you guys with your Dogecoin. Look, I
don't know. Whoa, hold up. I've had a lot of people, I talk to, they go, "Oh, buy Dogecoin, buy Doge to the moon." And there are so many people on board, whether it's Mark Cuban or Elon Musk. What's your view on Doge?
Look,
go ahead.
If anybody studies Elon Musk, he has a sense of humor. He's kind of a smart aleck, Mark Cuban is all about making money. So you take a coin that was 5 cents, and one is making jokes about it because it was meant as a joke. It was a meme coin. It was meant as a mockery of cryptocurrency. So you have one guy making a joke, another guy seeing a huge opportunity to make money, and they both, I'm not saying they're in cahoots, they might be, I don't know, but they both converge on this asset. And I mean, yeah, I can't deny that people have made a lot of money. I can't deny that. But do I own Dogecoin? No. Am I going to ever purchase Dogecoin? No. Like I told people, I had an order for $20,000. What would I look like going back to the people that I teach how to do this and telling them, yeah, I lost 10 grand on Dogecoin. I couldn't do that.
Yeah.
So I'm not, you guys go ahead and buy Doge.
I have a little bit of Doge. I don't have a lot. I have more Ethereum than anything though.
Yeah, Ethereum is the way to go right now. At least until Bitcoin gets its act together.
I made a little bit in Maker, but I pulled out of that for some, pulled most of it out. And then I got a bunch in XRP. So
I gotta tell you guys, because I'm trying to paint a picture for everyone here. The Chinese control this market heavily. They could kill it in an instant. So everyone needs to be paying attention that's invested in the cryptocurrency with our relationship with China. As it starts to go south, might be a good idea to put everything back into the dollar form if you feel that things are going to escalate. We do get to the point where people do feel that we're going to have a conflict that stretches globally. Does it ever pan out? No. Do we get to the precipice? Yeah, we do. It feels that way. It's by design, but I gotta inform you. I gotta keep you aware because when the market crashes, I've already told people I'm going to let you know when to put everything into the dollar form, and we'll buy back in at the bottom. There's regulation coming. There's a world conflict coming, or at least the perception. So there's a lot of things that can kill this very quickly. I didn't do crypto the first time around. Stayed away from it, thought it was a scam, like so many others. It's not, and there's huge potential there, but everyone needs to, if you're invested and this is your money and we're talking, your savings, your livelihood. I got people that have taken their 401ks out so that they can have control of their money. You need to pay attention to what's going on, especially with that region. They can literally, you saw it the other week, there was a blackout, Bitcoin tanked. The hash rate went down by 50% and Bitcoin tanked. So
yep.
Just keeping it real, just keeping you guys updated and informed.
So Joe, tell everybody how they can find you on social media, as far as especially like on Discord as well, to learn about crypto.
Can I type in this chat?
Yeah, you should be able to.
All right, I'm going to put the Discord information in there for everyone. I'm typing on a very small laptop. Did you see that?
Oh, you put it in private chat. Okay, hold on.
Oh.
Hold on.
I do it in comments? Is that okay? Yeah, I'll do it in comments. Yeah, but I don't see where I can type in the comments.
Oh, okay. Well, here we go. There it is.
All right, so that is the Discord, and then I'll give you just the account to basically find me. But again, a lot of social medias, you can't find me. I mean, I'm there, but they make it very hard for you to find me. At some point, there's going to be an opportunity for this to just blow up. I just have a feeling, at some point, it's going to just, somebody's going to get a hold of it. I don't know. Maybe someone should send it to Alex Jones. I don't know. But to hit a national audience.
So one question before we go, Joe.
Yes, sir.
Linda wants to know, what do you do for fun and to relax?
I don't have fun and I don't relax. I'm just being honest. Look, I mean, if you have seen the things I've seen, every waking minute, I'm just trying to inform people, because this isn't going in a good direction. And I guess I drive my car, the car I bought. I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, that's it, because I know people.
What you've seen and observed over the years, how do you sleep at night?
With one eye open.
Benadryl.
Benadryl.
Melatonin.
I mean, it's not easy. It's taken me many years to get to the point to where I can block this stuff out, but it's constantly racing through my mind every waking hour, because I know what's looming, I know what's coming, and yet, I'm still here to do something. I'm still here for a purpose. So all of that is, it's too much to take sometimes.
And you know what your purpose is. It's been disclosed to you.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, he knows what his objective is.
100%.
And I just, wondered when, that day when I send him the email for the link and then he doesn't show up.
Or I do. Let's hope I do. But
Oh, yeah. Well, we'll hope for that. You can come in and go, I did it. The objective has been taken care of.
I don't
Let's
think
have a good time.
I don't think I would put that out there. I think I would wait a long time.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah.
All right, Joe. We'll talk to you this week.
All right, guys.
I bought a new laptop, because one of the reasons why I haven't been at home. I've been at home, but I haven't been getting on the Discord and stuff like that and paying attention to Carmina and stuff. It's because my laptop crapped out at home.
Yeah.
So I bought a new one last night, and I should have it by tomorrow. Just being brought it off Amazon. So.
Okay.
So at least now I'll be able to get back on. But I'm doing a couple other things. Huh?
I'm here to help you, man. So.
Oh, I know, and also the other idea that you and I had, where you talked about it, and I said, oh yeah, I had the same idea.
And that's what I'm talking about. That might be the way this gets nationally.
It might be. But I'm setting up a hole in our sunroom.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, let's get it done.
Something in a sunroom, don't you? Is it like a sunroom that you do it in?
Yeah, that's
called the sunroom.
The back room of my house. Yeah.
Is it really?
Yeah.
It's my back room too, believe it or not.
Yeah. So and that's why one of the reasons I call it the back room. But yeah, let's do something, because time's running out, man. It really is.
Yeah.
And so social media is not going to let this get any bigger. I mean, they're not. How do I have, my likes on TikTok are 3-4 times the amount of followers. They're just not letting it out. And I haven't even said anything bad for a month. I haven't said anything bad, what they would consider bad. I haven't talked about any of the political figures. I think I've been very behaved, but not going to happen. It's a shame, man. It really is.
Yeah, my TikTok's tanking too. So, all right, dude. We'll talk to you later. We'll see you on the Discord later.
All right. Take care, Jim. Take care, Mike.
Have a good one. Have a great day.
You too.
All right, that is Joe, our resident time traveler here on SNSN, and we ran late, but boy, I'll tell you, we had 2 hours of straight guests today.
Yeah.
With Angela from the Greater Norwich Area Chamber of Commerce, as well as Mark Lathrop from Lathrop Vending joining her. It was a good conversation talking about a good local business. You know what I learned about Mark is I didn't know he had as many employees. I thought there was like 8 of them. I honestly did. And then when he said 47, it was like mind blown. So I was very impressed. Yeah, I was very, very impressed. Then, of course, Brian Lanoue. I wish we had more time with Brian today. I wish we had more time. but sometimes the conversations, they just kind of lap over, and you can only do so much. And then of course Joe, which he comes on every Thursday morning at 9 for Time Travel Thursday. So, all right, Jim, we'll see you soon, brother. All right, Joe's gone, man. He's off in the future somewhere. He's already darted off in his time machine. I don't know if he has a time machine. See you tomorrow.
Sports and your home for local news and weather, broadcasting from Main Street in the borough of Jewett City. The streaming news